Going on? It's my Moderate Nerd episode 4, and I got my Vote for Pedro shirt in honor of it. You know? So, let's go ahead and get started here. I got a couple things I wanted to talk about. The first one is something that kind of just happened today, recently, and it's someone from Call of Duty, from the Faze clan. I am a gamer, so I kind of stay up to date with gaming news. And he got his skin taken down. He's like professional in Call of Duty. Got his skin taken down from Modern Warfare 2 because of a tweet that he put out. And I'll go ahead and read this article here. This is from Kyle Orland at ARS Technica. And so, Call of Duty has removed the skin based on popular Warzone streamer and FaZe Clan co-owner Nick Merck's Kolchev after this LGBTQ protest tweet. So what exactly was this tweet that he's talking about, that he got banned from? Let's go ahead and read it here. So, Activision's mention of recent events is an apparent reference to a tweet that he made Wednesday morning of this week. So, there was a clash between pro and anti-LGBTQ protesters outside of a Glendale school board meeting in California. And this is what he wrote, and I quote, "They should leave little children alone. That's the real issue." That's it. That's literally all he wrote. He didn't mention LGBTQ. He didn't even pick a side. But the underlying meaning in that is that it's obvious who he's talking about. This just goes to show that they're scared. And there's a reason that they knew. Like, they have to know on some level that what they're doing is targeting kids if they're trying to put it in schools and they're just plastering it everywhere. All he said was leave the little kids alone. He could have been pro-trans kids, right? He didn't say anything about, oh, leave the non-trans kids alone, don't push trans on anybody. He just said, leave the kids alone. He didn't really pick a side. But they assumed he picked a side, and that speaks volumes. That says everything you need to know. It's despicable. And people are protesting against it. He should get his skin back online, hopefully, but it's just kind of ridiculous. I mean, it just proves that they are aware that the message that they're preaching is going to kids, and they want it to go to kids. It's kind of scary stuff. You know, everyone should watch the new What is a Woman, or it's not new, the What is a Woman documentary. I just watched it a couple weeks ago on Twitter, and it really, really delves into this trans ideology nonsense. So I highly recommend it. So I'm going to go on to the next story here. And this is another, again with this woke stuff. I mean, that's just what politics is nowadays, just fucking woke garbage being shoved down our throat every day. So the next thing is the Little Mermaid bombing at the box office, which is kind of funny. You know, I talked about it last week that, you know, they want to push race into everything. Instead of making an original character, they made Ariel black, which I have no problem with. But then they kept her hair red. So it's like, if you're going to make her black, why do you need to keep the hair red? You know? And the whole point of these remakes is to create a story that resonates with people, and people just don't recognize this character. It doesn't resonate with them. But the real reason it's bombing, which is why I think it's kind of hilarious, there's two reasons. One, it came out around the same time as Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Mistake number one. Come on. It's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, dog. You're not going to freaking... That movie's destroying every other movie. They shouldn't have came within 2 weeks of that movie, dropping it in theaters. And that was just a mistake on their part. The second is that even though everyone likes to claim that America's racist, we're probably the most tolerant country on planet Earth. It's bombing in China, and when they're putting up like ads and stuff for it, Ariel's not even in the ad. Ariel's not in the ad for the Chinese advertisements for the movie. Because, believe it or not, America's not racist. Other countries are racist. And to think that you're just going to push this agenda and that the entire world is going to embrace it is ludicrous. And that's why it's bombing. Because, you know, they're trying to push this woke nonsense, and, you know, America's kind of pushing back against it now. But compared to the rest of the world, we're pretty fucking tolerant. Even though the media likes to spin it like America's the worst country on the planet. There are way worse places to live. North Korea. So, you know, why don't they take a trip to North Korea and see how See how terrible America is, you know? So that's the second story. You know, we'll see. I'm probably going to see it at some point. I heard they changed some of the songs, which I'm kind of disappointed in. I don't care if Ariel's black. I really don't give a fuck. But the reason why the Lion King remake was so good and the Aladdin remake was so good, like they made the genie black, no one cares, right? And the Aladdin remake was so good because they didn't change the songs. They didn't make it woke. It was literally the exact same movie, just in live action. They didn't change anything. Like apparently the Kiss the Girl song has like a couple lines about consent and all this shit. It's like, how much more consent does this man need? She literally gave up her life in the sea to be with this dude. That's all the consent you need, fucking consent. It's ridiculous. And so they're changing around the songs. They're trying to make it woke, and I think that's what people are seeing here. I don't think it has anything to do with Ariel's race, at least in America, because it's doing great in America. Maybe in the other parts of the world it does. But they're just changing too much, trying to make it politically woke, and people are just kind of sick of it at this point. They really they didn't picture Bud Light the Bud Light thing to be happening and Target thing to be happening around the same time. So, that's on them for not reading the tea leaves there. And so the last thing I wanted to talk about was Trump's indictment. Trump's been popping up a lot recently, and, regardless of how you feel about him, this indictment is kind of BS, right? Because it all stemmed from he has documents at his Mar-a-Lago home, classified documents. But you know who else has classified documents? Biden. In his garage, next to his Porsche or his fucking Corvette or whatever the hell it was. And you know who else has classified documents? Hillary Clinton. But who are they targeting? Only one person, Trump, because they're scared. There's people on the Democratic side. Literally, the sitting president did the same thing and admitted to it. He's like, "Oh, it's not out in the street. It's just in my garage, in a locked garage." Doing the same exact thing. But they only go after one side. And it's so obvious, But I'm sure as hell not voting for Biden, that's for sure. We'll see if I vote for someone on the Democratic side. It's possible, but with the way things are going right now and how they have everything taken over, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. But all of this to say that the American people are sick of the hypocrisy. And that's that. So, ending on a little bit of a somber note here. But, we'll get through it. The future is looking up. So...